Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm Essie Oliver. Well, yeah, come on. Well, I mean, I did sort of announce it and then faff around for like 20 minutes.
I was so unsure about what you were doing. I was like, oh, okay, I'm just
It's
going to
because
ignore him.
on the left-hand side there are a number of scenes I have to click on, and I kept on clicking on the wrong one. But there you go. I finally
Wow.
sussed it out. Finally worked it out.
Wow.
Okay, again, very unprofessional. So, Tom, what are we gonna do today?
Well, I mean, initially I was going to try and find your live stream on YouTube, which I can't find at the moment. Are we even live?
We are live. Yes.
I can't see it. I can't see it. It's not here. It's not showing live. So I assume that we're live. If we're not, then I guess
We are live. I can confirm.
Oh, I can see it now. I can see it.
100%. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Right. Hello, everyone. Hi. I have some London tea today. London iced tea for a special episode requested by you, the viewer. That's right, you, the viewer. Right?
What do they request?
To talk a bit about like tourism in the UK.
Oh, I thought you were saying they requested an iced tea mukbang or something like that. London iced tea mukbang. No?
No. You should know more about like your audience's needs than me.
Tom, I care about the audience a lot. I care about the viewers, and I definitely know what they need. So,
which would explain why you've been on 1.1k subscribers for the last couple of weeks.
Quiet, Tom. All right. So, as Tom said earlier, today we're going to talk about not only iced tea, but we're going to talk about London and tourism in London as well. Tom loves London. He's going to recommend a few places. A few places to go in London. I don't like London so much, so I'm just going to listen and occasionally nod my head or shake it in disapproval. So, Tom, let's find some of these pictures.
I've created a few pictures. So let's begin. So
I've just opened it up.
Sorry, my nose.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, okay. I can't see the screen.
So you might you might need to wait for a bit because you can't see the screen at the moment. I'll click on the first picture of this car.
Yes. So before we talk about London, I guess the good question is, what do people know about London in the chat?
Yeah. Okay.
Is there anyone in the chat?
Yeah, there are two.
Is there people watching?
Taehan and Julie. Yeah, there are people out there. Don't worry, Tom. There are viewers. Yeah.
So George, what do you know about? Why actually, like, how many times have you gone to London? Actually, George.
Countless times. I couldn't count the number of times I've been. Quite a few times, and yeah. For me, London is too noisy and too busy and too expensive. I think the price of London really puts me off. It puts me off. The price of London.
Yeah.
Puts me off.
I would say generally. I would say generally the cost of living here is really expensive. I would say eating out is quite expensive as well. But if you're just like going to supermarkets or even traveling, it's quite cheap actually.
Mm-hmm.
And like most of the museums here are free as well. So you can actually and not only that, but central London is quite walkable. I guess we'll talk about this quite a bit in the album, but it's quite walkable, which means that you can do a day out in London like very cheaply, if that makes sense. It depends on what you want to do.
Yeah, I'm just sorry. I was just trying to think of a different way to say to put somebody off. So the price of London puts me off. It
Yeah.
makes me not like.
Not want to, or not want to. Yeah, not want to do something, right? Like,
Yeah, okay, to make someone
Yeah.
not want to do something.
Yeah. London iced tea, I can actually recommend it. It's actually pretty good. It's not too bad. I thought it was going to be terrible, but it's quite good.
Yeah, so I could say, for example, the smell of what's that Japanese food which smells a lot? Do you know? You're
No,
into
not really.
Japanese stuff? No? What's it called?
I have no idea what you're talking
You
about.
don't know what I'm talking about? Okay, what's also really smelly food?
Off the top of my head.
Yeah, go on. I can't.
There's like there's the like that Swedish like tin, which is really disgusting.
Swedish tin.
Yeah, like you open the tin, it's really gross. Hang on, let me find it.
Okay. Well, okay, let's say, for example, let's talk about bondegi. So, I hate the smell of bondegi, so I can say the smell of bondegi puts me off eating it.
Yeah.
Like, it makes me not want to eat it. Natto, that's it. That's the one I was thinking of. Natto. You don't know natto? I thought you loved that Japanese YouTuber. Tom.
Oh, like your competitor.
My competitor. Even though
With-
it's completely different, and yeah. Anyway, so he's never talked about natto.
I don't think so. No.
Okay. Anyways,
Maybe he has. I just haven't.
It's-
But it is abroad in Japan. It's a great channel.
it is good. It is good. So yeah.
I
So
thought you're gonna get really mad over that. Oh, my competitor.
my competitor. Yeah, no, so natto is a kind of food that really, a Japanese food that really smells. So the smell of natto puts me off eating it, essentially. Yeah. So, Tom, continue talking about London.
So it's quite affordable, I think, in some ways, if that makes sense. So, like it's easily walkable and things like that. So let's look through the album. So. I've just realized this album doesn't actually have photos of the London Underground, which is a really bad album. But I didn't spend too much time really curating the album. These are just random snaps, I would say, as I've been walking around London.
Yeah.
So it's on the Ferrari, right?
Well, no, I kind of zoomed out because we didn't talk about the Ferrari,
Okay.
but I can zoom in on the Ferrari now. So
Yeah. So they are.
So have a
in
little
London,
talk about the Ferrari.
there is in London. There's a lot of rich people, to be fair. So you'll see a lot of supercars. So if you like your cars, then you're going to love London because there's a lot of like Ferraris and stuff driving around, which is quite good. Okay. Should you? So I'd say move on to the next photo.
Yeah,
You can click on the photos, by the way.
What? Sorry.
You can
Yeah.
click on the photos, by the way.
I have. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I just. clicked.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. I was just gonna say, yeah, the Ferrari doesn't really tell you much about London because
No, not really. It's a really bad.
Ferrari isn't a British design. What is it? It's Italian, isn't it? Ferrari,
Yeah, it's Italian.
Italian
yeah.
car. So yeah,
Yeah.
that well-known Italian
It's
car.
it's not
which
really like a
is sold
Aston
to
Martin
London.
or something,
Right.
right? Yeah. Or Ford. It's poorly designed. But what I'm saying actually is that you'll see a lot of cars like the Ferrari or the Aston Martin.
You'll see cars in London. Yes, indeed.
Good cars.
Okay, good cars. Yeah. Oh yeah, because everyone that lives in London is rich.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
Well, everyone who's driving in London is rich.
Yes.
Right.
Actually, that's a fair assumption. Yeah, I would say so. So the next couple of photos is from Fort Norman Mason. Have you been there before, George?
No. What is this place?
So it's in. Let me just make sure I'm getting my research correct. It's a very upmarket department store in Piccadilly.
Are
in
you
London.
reading Wikipedia?
I'm reading part of Wikipedia. Yes, but it's a very, it's very upper class. So a lot of tourists like to go there, but it's very beautiful and it's got multiple floors. It's really nice actually. And this week I went to afternoon tea in Fortnum Mason, and it cost quite a lot of money, but it was half price, so it was quite good. So in this photo, I'm not sure what photo you're on, George, but we've got
I'm the
spiraling
that's what, yeah,
staircase.
Yep.
You can see the beautiful staircases that go around. And then if you go to the next photo,
This is like a presentation. Next photo, please.
next photo, George, next photo.
Yeah.
There's a pianist on the top floor. So when you're eating and drinking tea and cakes, afternoon tea. So we should actually talk about afternoon tea. What is afternoon tea actually, George?
Afternoon tea is the consumption of tea with a cake,
Yeah.
maybe a scone, a crumpet. Usually scones, right? Scones and cakes.
Yeah. I poorly placed it in this album, but on the last photo of this album, there's a photo of my food from Tuesday. So I'm not sure you want to scroll down.
Okay, hold on, just a sec. Where's I can't
It's
see.
right down the bottom. It's right down the bottom.
Tom, you should have put this in
right.
order. This is terrible. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. Where is it? The thing that looks like afternoon tea.
Well, I thought there were more photos than there actually were, but all right. Sorry. I'll just read the comments just for a second. So,
Yeah.
Julie says she's been to London. The Londoners walked so fast, and even the escalators moved so fast.
Yeah.
That's probably a
That's
fair
true.
assessment. And Matku Ramon says hello. So hello, Matku Ramon. Welcome.
Hello, and London iced tea. It's quite good.
So this is an example of why can't I speak? This is an example afternoon tea. Sorry, my brain is
Yeah, I was about to say, and I'm
Dead
feeling quite
at the
unwell as well. So it's not great.
I was speaking a bit like Boris Johnson for a second. This is it's a afternoon tea. Yeah. Sorry.
That was a really good impression of Boris Johnson, by the way.
Thanks.
So afternoon tea is pretty good. So I would recommend to do afternoon tea if you come to London. It doesn't have to be Fortnum Mason. Fortnum Mason's very expensive. But I would recommend at least visiting Fortnum Mason as well. So you can see a bit more photos of George if you go back. You can see like the tea room, and you can buy some Earl Grey tea. I would highly recommend the Earl Grey tea in Fortnum Mason. So good.
Oh, okay.
It's my favorite tea.
Is this
My
the
favourite
tea room? I think this is the tea room. Okay.
Yeah.
And then
The tea room.
I'm on the Earl Grey tea
Yeah.
picture now.
Looks
very
amazing
fancy.
tea. Amazing tea. It's so good. So I'd recommend buying a box, about £8. So it's a bit on the expensive side for tea, but it's really, really good. And you can bring it home, and the packaging's really nice and everything like that. And the tea's really good. So it's a nice thing to buy.
Maku Ramon says, have you ever eaten Indian food before?
So I guess, George, you should talk about Indian food in Britain.
No, you do it. I think your explanations are more interesting than mine.
No, I think no. You know it from a Korean angle.
Well, okay, all right, fine. So, in the UK, we eat a lot of Indian food. So much so that some British people consider Indian food to be British because we eat so much of it. I think, I've never tried Indian food in India, like real Indian food. I don't know how it compares, but I've tried Indian food in Korea and perhaps Japan as well. Oh, and Italy. And I think British Indian food is the best.
Is it pretty poor in like
It's okay.
Korea?
It's okay, but
Yeah.
every time I go back home and have Indian food, it just tastes a bit better.
You're like, oh, so good.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing actually. If a British person goes, oh, and doesn't say anything else, you know it's legitimately very good. That's a high praise for a British person.
Are you sure that's just you? I've never said.
Oh,
I think
that's
just,
well good, mate.
well, okay, that's
Like
well
what?
good, mate.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Like when a British guy has a pint, goes like that.
So yeah, if a British person eats some food that they really really enjoy, and they make this sound, just know that it's a normal occurrence. This is what we usually do.
You know, it's very high praise. It's very high praise.
Yeah. So we don't compliment people on their cooking through language. We just compliment them through noises and odd sounds. Yeah. Yes. So
Yes.
let's continue.
Let's continue. So, if you go to the next picture,
next slide.
next slide,
bookshop.
George. So, oh no, before it, the previous one. It's like there's in Fortnum and Mason as well. There's
okay.
there's like a really nice there's a ton of different things in there, but this is the confectionery section, so a lot of really good sweets as well. So I'd recommend definitely checking out Fortnum and Mason if you can come as well. But there's some amazing department stores actually across London, and that's why I like it a lot. So if you really like shopping, London's a great place to be at.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next up, George, is the bookstore, right?
Okay.
Or do you want to ask questions? Is there any questions?
Let's have a look. Okay, Makuramon says today is, what's it called? I can't remember what he said. National Liberation Day of Korea. That's what it is.
Oh. Do you have to do anything for it, George?
I
I can take a week off.
don't know what I don't do anything really because as I'm obviously not Korean. But what do people do in Korea for National Liberation Day? I think.
Watch Crash Landing on Me.
Yeah, I know. I think everyone has like an extended weekend, so they have like Monday and Tuesday off work. Apart from that, I'm not sure. 그래서 여러분 광복절에 주로 뭐 해요? 한국 사람들은 광복절에 주로 뭐 해요? 그냥
Okay.
쉬는 건가요? I don't know. Yeah. Anyway.
Should we move on while still waiting for a response?
Yes. Let's do that.
Wow, the chat's so slow. Oh no, no! I think someone said something, right?
I can't see anything. Oh, here we go. 인도는 한국보다 2년 후 8월 15일 독립했어요. Okay, so India had its independence 2 years after Korea. On the 15th of August, apparently.
Oh, right. Next up is the bookstore. There's a lot of bookstores in London. This is one of my favorites. It's called Daunt Books. I forget where it is again. I can tell you, I can visualize where it is. It's one of the more famous bookstores in London. Marylebone. I can't say that right. Marylebone?
I would say Marylebone.
Marylebone.
Yeah.
It's probably you're probably correct. Marylebone.
I only know that because of playing Monopoly. Yeah. Marylebone.
Monopoly, great game. Monopoly, yeah. It's a Edwardian like bookshop, but it has this like amazing like long oak gallery of all the books. It's really pretty. So here's one photo of that. But there's a ton of amazing bookstores, all free to go in if you're in London as well. So definitely check it out.
Yeah, so it's on the exact. So India had its independence on the exact same day as Korea, but just 2 years later. Kim Sung-gu says, we consider it just as a national holiday. We don't do anything special. Okay, so just party time.
Party time with us.
Hey!
It's Saturday evening, right, in Korea?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Why is it not? Now I think about it, Oh, uh, cool.
So, yeah. Right. Next.
Right. Next, nice smooth transition. Next up is a few photos of the greenery in London. There's a lot of national parks in London as well, and there's so much greenery in London that you think like, oh, it's all like cities and blocks, it's all bustling, a lot of business, like people walking about, but actually there's a lot of greenery as well. So in this first photo, I think that's a photo of St. James's Park or Hyde Park. I'm not sure, but there's a lot of greenery that looks like this, all very pretty. And then the next photo with the London Eye is a really nice photo as well, where some people just camp out outside the London Eye. You have like tea, drinks.
It kind of reminds me of
picnics. Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of the scenes that you see near the Han River. I mean, because this is by the River Thames, but yeah, a lot of people just sitting down, having picnics, enjoying chicken and beer, etc. Oh shit!
That's amazing.
I accidentally zoomed in on the picture. How do I zoom out? Oh, bugger.
Your mouse wheel. Your mouse wheel, George. Yeah.
Thanks. Julie says, on Liberation Day, people just usually put up the national flag to express gratitude for those who devoted themselves to Korean liberation and just take a day off.
Oh.
So it's just a way to remember those that fought for Korean liberation. And yeah, nice.
You should do something for it, George. Go eat chicken in by the Han River.
Well, it's a bit late now. I'd have to set off directly after this.
Has the sun fallen yet or not?
Yeah. It's dark.
Oh, so you just be eating chicken in the dark
on my own.
Han River.
On my own, just like really lonely. Just drinking some beer. Eating chicken on my own. God, yeah.
That sounds great to me, to be honest. Like I'm like,
yeah, it might be alright. Okay, maybe one day I'll do that on my own. Just sit there, eating chicken, drinking beer by the Han River.
I mean, they still sell it at this time, right?
Yeah. All of the corner shops are open 24/7.
Oh, so good, so good.
And you can order chicken anywhere, so very easy. Hembokan Mal says hello. Hello, Hembokan Mal. Hembokan Mal is happy village. So.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
That's cute. I like it.
2차 대전 후 영국의 인도 파키스탄 이민자가 증가했다는 소식 들었어요. So after World War II, the Indian and Pakistan immigrants were I see. So immigrants, Indian and Pakistani immigrants in the UK rose after World War II. Well, that's what this person heard anyway. That's what Makuramon heard. Yeah, I think that's true. Sounds true to me.
We need a certain historian maybe to verify our claims.
Okay, so Tom, what's the next picture?
So are you in the museum one?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is the Natural History Museum. There's a lot of free museums in London. This is one of my favourite ones, the Natural... I'm not sure if it's a natural or national.
The Natural.
I think it's a national.
No, it's the Natural History Museum. Yeah.
Wow, you're so like. This is what it's called.
Oh yeah, because this is my favourite museum in London.
Yeah, it's really great. The Natural History Museum, one of my favourites. I wouldn't say it's my favourite. My favourite is actually across the road. Is the Victoria and Albert, the Natural History Museum. Very, very good. This is one of the photos I took, I think, last year when I was there. But it's a gorgeous, gorgeous museum, and all of the museums in London are free. Mm-hmm. And you can easily make a day out of it, especially in that area. So you can go to the Natural History Museum, then the Science Museum is just like a minute or two down the road. and then the Victoria and Albert is literally just across the road. And then up that road as well is the Royal Albert Hall, which we'll get to in a moment. One of my favourite venues in the world, actually. Actually, I would easily say that. Royal Albert Hall.
I watched the Harry Potter soundtrack being performed in the Royal Albert Hall.
Was it good?
Yeah.
I saw Noel Gallagher.
Oh really? Okay, that sounds
very,
better.
Very good.
That sounds better.
Very good. Yeah, very good.
Julie says, I've been to the Natural History Museum. I looked around there for 2 hours. It was not enough, so I skipped some sections. Yeah, you can spend all day there. And the building itself is beautiful, as you said.
Yeah, it's really, really beautiful. Yeah.
Hemok Kamal says, I'm going to take TOEIC tomorrow. So TOEIC is do you know TOEIC?
I've heard of it. It's like a language test, right?
Yeah, it's an English test that is popular. I'm not going to say popular. It's not popular, but it's common to take in Korea and in Japan, and it's hard as fuck. It's really difficult.
It's really hard.
Yeah.
That should be a video. It should be English people attempt the TOEIC.
It's business English. It's really, really difficult. So Hembo Kamal says he or she aspires to get 990, which is very, very high. So best of luck, good luck in your TOEIC exam tomorrow.
Do you have any tips, George?
Well, I've never taught the TOEIC exam before. I've only looked at it briefly. So when I was teaching in Japan, one of my students was going to take the TOEIC exam, and he showed me a few questions, and it was the reading section. And I looked at it once, and I was like, oh my god, this looks impossible. I don't know if I would get 100%. IELTS is more popular in the UK, yeah. So IELTS I've taught. So I'd be able to give you some tips for IELTS, because I know that exam far better. But IELTS, again, is really, really hard. Like the writing part is proper difficult, because they have to describe a graph, and then they have to write
like a pie graph, like it's circle and has three
sections.
sections.
It could be like a bar chart or something like that.
Oh yeah.
But they have to write an essay about it, and then also
that's crazy.
And then they have to write another essay as well on top of that. But the marking is pretty harsh, and also the speaking exam, the marking is quite harsh as well. Yeah, and also the reading is really difficult. So they have to read lots of academic stuff. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Did you hear back about your Korean test
yeah.
thing?
I think I hear the results next week. So I took a Korean exam last week. This was to get onto a Korean class thing. So it's like an entry level test. So I just find out what my Korean level is, and then I go into a class. So I hear the results next week. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed means I hope that things will go well. TOEIC is rubbish, says Hembo Kamal. Yeah, it is a bit rubbish. I have to agree. So yeah.
Which one's more valuable then, like TOEIC or IELTS?
From what I've heard, I think TOEIC is useful in Korea and Japan, like if you want to get a job in those countries. Whereas if you want to go abroad, like if you wanted to study in the UK, or if you wanted to study in America, then IELTS. I don't know if America takes IELTS. I think America has like a different exam. But if you wanted to study in the UK anyway, or I think in Australia, you have to do IELTS. My cousin had to do IELTS. This is really weird, because she wanted to live in Australia, and to go to Australia she needed to do the IELTS exam, and she didn't get full marks even though she's British.
That's crazy. I didn't realise that was the case. Yeah,
and she's really smart as well. She's a vet, and she still didn't get 100%
full marks.
So yeah, anyway, shall I skip on to the next picture?
Yeah, where are we? Oh, yeah,
That's
classic
just...
London pub.
Okay.
This was during Christmas. I don't remember where this photo was taken. I must have taken it because I thought, oh, it looks pretty. But this is a classic London pub. So you'll see a lot of pubs like this in London. Just having a quick look at the data, and it looks like it was in Earl's Court. Somewhere in Earl's Court that I went. I've been to a lot of pubs. so,
Right.
so yeah, definitely get into a pub, have a great pint. They're pretty expensive. Like I paid £6 for a pint yesterday, George. £6.
£6. That's expensive.
So how much is that in
I'd say in Korean won,
Won.
it's probably Manon, so 10,000.
it's a lot. Like £6 is a lot.
Yeah.
So, but you should definitely try it. And I think most pubs in London will be very happy to talk to you as well, especially if you're like a visitor from abroad in London.
Yeah. So you just say, "Hi, I'm new here. What's the best?"
I think they'll be really impressed. Honestly, like I think, yeah, people are, oh yeah, they're trying to speak English, so that's nice.
Yeah, that's cool.
So,
I would say actually in Korea, it's possible to find really expensive beer because all the imported stuff is usually about 10,000 won. Like Guinness and stuff. Like if you go to a pub, it's usually quite pricey.
to be fair though, if you do go to the supermarket, it's a lot cheaper to buy
Yeah,
drinks.
yeah. British supermarkets are really cheap.
Yeah.
A guy asked for a cigarette on the street.
You'll get that in a pub as well. And potentially, like there'll be some people that walk past and ask for a cigarette.
Trying to bum a fag.
Yeah, mama
Yeah.
fag, true. Yeah, yeah.
Something that would mean something completely different in the US.
Yeah.
Heard a different meaning.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the alley in London. Yeah,
Abby.
I've had that happen to me as well. Like
Yeah.
people asking
that's
for
a
cigarettes in
common
alleys in
occurrence.
London and stuff like that. Yeah. Okay, I'll move on to the next photo.
What's the next
Did
photo?
you go and see the snooker?
Yeah, I went to go to see the snooker. So this was in Alexandra Palace. Really great venue. Really pretty if you ever go Alexandra Palace. So
Yeah.
I went to go watch the snooker, which is very popular in the UK. And this was I can't remember who the two that were playing, but this was the Daffer Bet Masters finals where I watched the snooker live. Mainly because I mean I'm not a big snooker guy, but my friend really wanted to go to the snooker and no one wanted to go with him, so I felt bad for him. So I went to the snooker with him.
Okay, I think I need to clear something up first because I'm pretty sure a lot of people won't know what snooker is.
Oh,
So
okay, cool, yeah.
So snooker is just it's like pool, pocket ball, dangu. It's like the British pool. Not a lot of countries play it really, do they? Apart from the UK and China. I
Yeah.
think China plays
Yeah.
snooker. But yeah, it's pretty popular, particularly with the older generation, would you say?
I'd say so, yeah.
My
Yeah.
stepdad plays snooker a lot.
That seems
once a week.
believable. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, my brother was really into it when he was a kid. So yeah, it's a popular sport. Sorry.
So
continue, Tom.
yeah, if you want to see something very British, definitely go see the snooker, I guess. I mean, I nearly fell asleep whilst watching. I'm not even joking. It was so warm. It was like during the summer, and it was so warm. And to be fair, it wasn't the snooker's fault. It was just really warm. It was like room
Don't
temperature
blame
where
the
you're like,
snooker.
and then the room temp. It was so quiet, and the room temperature was like pretty warm. That I was kind of like dozed off, and it was on live TV as well. So if you go back to that episode, I think there was part of me where I was kind of going like that as well. So.
I mean, I can imagine it must be pretty boring to watch anyway. I'm not into snooker myself, but I don't know if it's a similar environment to when you watch darts, because usually the audience in darts the darts audience are usually like drinking beer and having pub snacks and are a bit rowdy. It's not the same,
So
is it really?
no. So in snooker, you have to be really quiet.
Okay.
It's a bit of a scandal, for lack of better words. If you make a lot of noise, they kick you
Yeah.
out. So basically, to hear the commentary, they give you a little like machine, like a little like MP3 player, for lack of better words. It's like an FM transmitter, like a little radio, and then you put the earphones and you can hear the
Commentary.
you can hear the commentary. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, it's funny watching darts because before, like probably like 10 years ago, I reckon, they would have like a cigarette in one hand, beer in the other, and then they were like professional darts. It's probably the only sport where you'd find like a professional player, a professional athlete smoking and then drinking beer at the same time as playing the sport. Darts. God. Anyway, I'll go on to the next slide. So Tom would recommend going to see snooker. What's this,
Yeah.
Tom?
This was in Brick Lane. So have you been to Brick Lane before?
I have, yeah.
So Brick Lane has a lot of actually Indian foods there. It's renowned for having a lot of Indian restaurants and stuff like that. But there's a lot of good pastry places as well. So this was a really pretty unicorn cake that I saw in Brick Lane. So I'd recommend visiting Brick Lane as well. It's very nice, especially if you want to try the Indian foods and other stuff as well.
Yeah. I would say that British baking is one of the best in the world. Which you agree
There's a
to?
very popular show here called British Bake Off.
Yeah, I was going to say that as well. The Great British Bake Off. It's a really, really great show. I only started watching it maybe last year or 2 years ago.
Is it on Netflix or
Not in Korea. No, I wanted to watch it. Yeah, go on. Talk about the Big Bake Off.
No, I mean that's all I had to say about it. I was wondering if you where you're watching it, like if it's on Netflix.
No, it's not. Unfortunately, yeah. So the Great British Bake Off is essentially just a baking competition, televised baking competition. You have 10 contestants,
Yeah.
I think, at the start, and they're all amateur bakers. But they're really good. They've got a lot of talent, but they don't bake for money. They just bake as a hobby, right? So they all go into this tent, which is in this idyllic part of the
Countryside,
UK,
yeah.
in the countryside, and they just bake for a month, I guess, with these professional bakers. And each week, one of the contestants is sent home because they have various challenges. Like one of them is a showstopper, in which they have to produce a cake or something on a certain theme, and then the other one is like they have to follow a recipe, but some of the recipe is missing. So they have to. I think they have like the ingredients, and the professional bakers tell them how to make the cake. Well, they tell them what the cake is essentially, and then they just have to use their own, I don't know, skill to finish the recipe. It's very good. So I don't think I've really sold it, but
No, it's good. It's good.
The reason why it's good is because the bakers on the show are really creative. Like they make some really interesting looking cakes, and they have kind of interesting personalities as well.
And they're all generally quite nice to each other.
Yeah, it's just a feel good. It's a feel good show.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Right. Next. This is Soho Chinatown. So there's a lot of. So what I like about London a lot actually is that you can kind of be. You can, if you have an interest, you'll be able to find something about it in London. What I usually say to people that are moving to London is that London doesn't care who you are, which is both a good thing and a bad thing. But the good side of that is that it doesn't matter, what your interests are or something like that, there'll be a part of London that you'll really like. So Chinatown's a really good example of that. So there's a lot of like Chinese restaurants there if you're really into that. In terms of like Korean places, there's a Korean supermarket in Chinatown. But if you visit New Malden, which I haven't been to in a long time actually, but New Malden's got a ton of like Korean places as well. So and then there's like a little mini Vietnamese like road as well in like Hackney or somewhere, which is kind of fun as well. So doesn't matter, what you're into, you'll probably find it in London.
Yep, all kinds of stuff. Right, next.
This is Hyde Park in as the sun's coming down in summer. Hyde Park is a massive park in London. It's literally in the centre of London, and it's not far from actually like the museums that we were talking about earlier. So the Natural History Museum, the Science Museum, etc., etc. But it's a massive park, maybe 10-minute walk from those museums, and it's a gorgeous park, as you can see from the photo. You've been to Hyde Park, right?
Yeah.
You've seen, they do live events at Hyde Park, so have you seen anyone at Hyde Park?
I went to see Blur and Pulp at Hyde Park. Yeah, so Britpop. Classic 90s Britpop bands. Yeah.
I saw Proms in the Park, actually, last year. Which I thought was going to be a ton of classical music, but then they just hoisted Bonnie Tyler literally on like some conveyor, but like risen like what's something I'm talking about? Like a massive crane, and she like came like down from the crane like singing "I Want to Be a Hero." What's it? "I Want to Be a Hero," which I thought was a really good entrance.
That does sound very good. All right, next photo.
We'll talk more about the Proms in a bit. I've got a few photos.
Okay, all right, okay.
Next photo. This is one of my favourite views in London, actually, central London. Mm-hmm. It's on the Hungerford and Jubilee bridges. So there's like two bridges, but one of them faces out, and you can see this amazing view of the London Eye, the Houses of Parliament, and the River Thames. It's really nice, and it's really nice when the sun comes down. I always take a photo every time I go past it. But it's by Central. It's really good view, and you can actually get a boat that goes down the River Thames as well for the Thames Clippers. If you want to travel in style.
Indeed. You can also see the Houses of Parliament in the distance there.
Yeah. There's a lot of detail here.
Yeah.
And the business parts, and then that as well. One of my friends calls it the makeout bridge because she just makes out with men on that bridge when she dates.
Okay, to make out. Means
it's just it's such a great view. It's such a great view.
Romantically. Right. Or to snog someone.
Yeah, snog someone. Yeah.
So, yeah, Tom's friend calls this the makeout bridge because she goes there and makes out with men.
Men on dates, not just like grabbing men randomly. I just like on dates, with other men that want to also, share her emotional feelings. Not just grabbing random men from the bridge and making out with them.
Okay. Well, okay, so if you ever go on a date in London, this is the perfect place to make out with that special someone.
Yeah, it's a really gorgeous view.
Yeah.
Never really looks bad.
And yep, so yeah, if you ever go there, go on a date, make out with someone on the bridge, send us a picture and we'll
send us a picture.
I don't know if
English what's your Instagram channel? Is it English? I don't know.
I can't remember
tag it.
English in Korea, I think. No, I can't remember.
Oh my god, we're so bad at this. Tag us on Instagram. I'd love to see it.
Yeah, I'm not very good at social media. Right, next.
We'll do the plugs at the end. Next, this is so it's kind of what I was talking about before. If like, doesn't really matter who you are in London, London will probably accept you for who you are. This is so every year there's a Pride event in London, and they go down the centre of London with the big parade. But there's a lot of parades in London, and it's a really positive time when they do so in London. So yeah.
Yeah. So to explain what Pride is for those that don't know, it's a festival. But it's a festival. It's more of like a parade, isn't it? Like a parade.
Yeah, parade. Yeah.
For gay rights.
Yeah, lesbian.
Gay. So lesbian, gay, transgender.
Bisexual. Yeah.
Yes, bisexual. Okay, and that happens once a year in London and in Brighton, right?
Yeah. Well, it's everywhere, to be honest. So.
Oh yeah. Well, I think in Korea it's called something different.
Oh.
It's not called Pride. I can't remember what it's called. It's got a different name. Anyway.
Cool. Next photo. This was when I had significantly shorter hair. But when you go out in London, you'll always have a nice collection of drunken photos after you've drunk a bit too much. So this is me and my colleague, Polish colleague actually. He came over and we had a few drinks. So yeah, you'll find that a lot. You can go up to a lot of random people. People will randomly come up to you and want to take a photo with you. It's not a bad thing. It's just they're very happy. I've drunken too much.
Colleague is co-worker. Dong
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, next photo.
Next photo.
I was supposed to say, how's the drinking culture in Korea, by the way?
Okay, so in Korea it's kind of a bit different in the sense that in the UK you go to a bar, right, and you drink and you don't have a meal. Whereas, and it's kind of like a bit freer, so you kind of walk around and you maybe stand at a table or you sit down. Whereas in Korea, generally it's just sitting down at a table. It's pretty much just at a restaurant. So you sit down at a table, you have to eat something usually.
Yeah. That's probably for the best.
And then you drink. So it's not really like talking to people you don't know, as you would sometimes in the UK. You might go out to a bar or a pub and you might end up speaking to someone who you don't know. Whereas in the UK, in Korea, it's more of just that you go to a restaurant with your friends and then you drink and then you go home. Yeah. As far as I'm aware, I know that there are some kind of foreign style bars like Thursday Party and things like that in Korea. But generally, it's a little bit different. Yeah.
Do we have any comments, by the way?
What time do you have to leave the pub in the UK?
George, I'll leave that to you.
Well, no, I honestly don't know, because I mean, the last time I probably went out in the UK was probably when I was 19 or something like that.
Okay, so it depends really. It depends, to be honest. I think British people, I think abroad, are renowned for their drinking culture, right? Just like getting horrifically drunk and then passing out, right?
Yeah.
Is that fair enough to say, and then puking or something somewhere? So depends how hardcore, I guess, but like a better word, really. Most pubs close maybe 2-3 a.m. But some don't close till like 6 a.m. So most, if you
I
really
guess
want
that's
to go,
I guess that's London though. So generally, if you go
Yeah.
to a different city, the pubs will close earlier, and 2 to 3 a.m. is pretty early.
late. I think it's late in UK.
Well, yeah, it's late in the UK, but it's pretty early by Korean standards. So if you go drinking in Korea, you will definitely fall asleep before the bars and clubs close, because they are open until like 8 or something like that in the morning.
Really? That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, clubs are anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, clubs usually shut. I think like around 7 or 8 in the morning sometimes, and then because when I first came to Korea, I went to a club in Daegu and I left at about 7 in the morning, and it was still going on.
Something, mate. Oh my god.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and my colleague, he goes to work at like 8 or whatever on a Saturday morning,
Yeah.
and he sees people still clubbing, like as he's walking to work, like they're still clubbing. So
Yeah, that would not happen in the UK. That would not happen in the UK.
yeah. Whereas I think bars shut a bit earlier, so like bars might shut around 4 or 5. Some of them are just open like until really late as well.
Yeah, so I think in London they probably close a bit later. Like we're talking like 3 or 4 a.m., maybe 5 a.m.
Yeah.
But I think if you're slightly outside of London, we're picking out time maybe like 1 a.m.,
Yeah.
1, 2 a.m.
Yeah.
It depends on the pub though.
Yeah. What's this? Oh, you've got a picture of the proms. We've got a picture of the proms up at the moment.
Oh yes, yeah. So the next 2 photos are from the Royal Albert Hall, my favourite venue in London.
Yeah.
It's a gorgeous music venue actually. So I'd highly recommend definitely visiting. They do a ton of programming across the year. But it's a gorgeous venue, and you can see in these 2 photos that's the hall empty as they're setting up for the proms. So I got to do a bit of work on the proms last year, so kind of got to walk around when it was empty. It's really nice.
Cool. What kind of work did you do on the proms?
Like some graphic design stuff, so it's pretty cool.
Sweet.
Yeah, it was really cool. Like first time I've ever done anything like that. So
Yeah, that sounds cool. Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Next picture.
Tower. Oh, so this is contentious. So like, I need to make sure I get the bridge name correct.
Okay, yeah, I know what it is.
so-
So go on.
So this is taken from the Tower of London, by the way. So I was in the Tower of London. So you should definitely visit the Tower of London if you go, because it's a pretty interesting castle. And they've got the infamous Tower Ravens. Find out what happened as well, and the Crown Jewels is there, I think, as well. I think it's the Crown Jewels. Anyway,
the crown jewels are there.
yeah, and so contentious because people get mixed up with Tower Bridge and London Bridge quite often.
Yeah.
But I believe this is Tower Bridge.
Well, you're correct. That's
Yeah,
right.
so Tower Bridge. So yeah, taken from Tower London, so you can see the jewels there, the crown jewels. But fun fact about crown jewels: so we made this joke a lot when we were visiting. But if someone says, "Oh, don't hit me in my crown jewels," that's a British colloquialism for "don't hit me in the." I don't know. Don't hit me in
The
in
balls.
the balls. Yeah.
I've never heard that, but that's funny. Okay.
No, like don't hit me in the crown jewels.
Don't hit me in the crown jewels.
My crown jewels. Yeah.
I guess jewels, balls, rhyming slang. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hurrah. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's probably to indicate your most valuable part in your body.
If you're a man. Yeah.
if you're a man, yeah. Don't hit me in the crown jewels. So yeah, it's a gorgeous place, and it's really nice if you, especially the sun setting or even at night time. It's really nice as well.
Yeah. Cool.
Obviously, at Tower Bridge, but a lot of people get confused with Tower Bridge and London Bridge.
Yeah. Julie says Tower Bridge was stunning at night when she
Yeah,
went to.
yeah, it is. Yeah,
Yeah, it's well lit.
yeah.
Okay, next picture.
What's the next picture? Oh yes, this is the Royal Albert Hall from outside. So I talked a bit about the inside of the Royal Albert Hall, but outside is really beautiful as well. So you can see 2 photos there. So these houses on the first photo are really expensive. They're really expensive. I think they're like a couple million easily for like one small room in the tower. But one of my colleagues was like, "Oh yeah, I have to go home on top, and I live on top of one of these houses of Royal Albert Hall." I was like, "Oh my god!" And she has like a platinum Amex
Wow.
card. Like, yeah,
Wow.
I was like just flexing.
Hey, big spender. Nice.
Yeah,
Very
She
good.
is exactly like how you imagine her, so like blonde, like
Flexing.
well spoken.
Yeah,
Yeah.
flexing is like 자랑하다, like showing off. 그래서 flexing이라고 하면 자랑하는 거예요. 주로
Yeah.
막 돈 it is, or like usually about money, right? So like she's flexing.
Yeah.
Because flexing, like the literal meaning of flexing is to like show your muscles. 근육
Yeah.
보여주기. Right? So yeah. That's
Yeah.
why.
So
To show off.
those are two photos there, and then a few more photos of the interior for the next two photos. So we had pizza in the restaurant. It's very nice, as you can tell, and there's pictures of performing artists there. It's
Yeah.
very nice. I recommend if you do go, maybe get dinner before the show. It's actually cheaper than you think. It's not too expensive.
Okay.
I think we paid like £20 for a dish and a drink, which was not too bad. Like considering where you are,
Yeah.
it's really not too
Yeah,
bad.
that
Like
isn't,
it's really
that
not too
isn't
bad.
so bad, right? You would expect
Yeah.
to be paying in the region of like 50 quid or something ridiculous.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. But not too bad. So it's pretty good. I recommend it anyway. And then this was the proms filled up. The next photo after that is
Oh,
the proms filled
sorry.
up with all the people.
Yeah.
So actually, George, what do you know about the proms?
The proms, it's classical music in it.
Yeah, that's
So,
exactly it. So
few people playing classical, right?
yeah, it's a
So this is-
classical.
and that is really all I know about the proms.
Yeah, that's pretty much you pretty much know it. So it's like a classical music every year. It's that is run by the BBC. They do TV, British Broadcasting Company. Nearly forgot. Nearly forgot what the BBC stood for. And they run a classical music. Is it concert? It's not a concert because that's a one-off. A series of classical music. A season. A festival. I think they call it a festival.
Okay.
Festival of classical music every year at the Royal Albert Hall, and it's really nice. And the tickets are not too expensive actually. They make it quite affordable. So if you want to go somewhere very British and you're here during the summer, so they run it throughout the summer every year. Not this year though, unfortunately.
Because of
That's-
obvious reasons.
Yeah, but every year they do it, and it's like every day for like 3 months. So it's you can just randomly go to one, and it's good. It'll be really good.
Yeah, so summer, go to the proms.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a good
At the
time.
Royal Albert Hall.
Mhm.
Oh wow!
Next
look.
one.
Oh, I just switched to the picture of the audience at the proms. That looks really fancy.
Oh, yeah, that's the one I was talking about. Yeah, a lot of English people. I might have been the only Asian there.
Oh, they're all white people, are they?
Yeah, I didn't want to say it, but yeah, a lot of white people.
Right. Well, I mean, when I went to see the Harry Potter soundtrack being performed at the Royal Albert
Yeah.
Hall, there was a good mix of people. I guess
Yeah.
because Harry Potter has a more widespread appeal.
Then
Lots of tourists. So yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
one thing that I would recommend is if you don't want to see the proms, they do a lot of performances of soundtracks, OST.
Yeah, absolutely.
So like,
OST.
yeah. So as I said, I went to see the Harry Potter soundtrack being performed, but you could also see like Lord of the Rings, I think Star Wars and stuff like that.
I saw Titanic.
Titanic.
Yeah, I saw Titanic with four other guys, four other
Oh
straight
really?
guys.
That sounds great.
Such a banging soundtrack.
The one that I'd like to see is Pixar. That would be amazing.
Yeah, that would be good. That would be good.
The Up soundtrack and stuff like that would be pretty. And Toy Story. Yeah, that'd be amazing. Anyway, next pick.
But I think it's worth adding that there's a lot of music venues in London. It's not just the Royal Albert Hall, but a ton of music venues for every single sort of
Rock and
genre of music out there.
roll and things like that. Yeah.
across London. So yeah, definitely keep an eye out. But that's one I would recommend. I think we have another image coming up of another
We have.
music thing.
Oh no.
So-
This is. What is this building? Hold on.
But not yet, not yet, not now. Not now.
Oh, this is the National Gallery. Right.
Yeah, the British Museum. British Museum. So another museum in
Oh,
London
British
as
Museum.
well.
Oh, sorry, I thought it was the National Gallery. Sorry.
But smack bang in the middle of London. It's free as well. I should have taken a photo of the interior for some reason. I didn't put it in here, but the inside of it looks really, really pretty as well.
Yeah, the British Museum is famous for having very little British artifacts inside.
Yeah, true.
It's
true,
mainly
true.
just stuff that we stole over centuries and centuries of empire, I guess. So yeah, you'll see a lot of Egyptian artifacts.
Mm-hmm.
There's a Korean
Yeah, there was a
exhibition as well.
section,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They're pretty good at that sort of stuff.
So yeah,
things
Korean,
that they're stolen.
Japanese, yeah. Well, I guess they probably bought the Korean stuff, seeing as I think that's probably one of the rare exceptions. But a lot of the stuff we just stole.
Yep. Yeah, pretty much. Next up is a karaoke booth. So don't worry, because karaoke still exists in London. It's a more expensive side. But here's a classic track. That you
This
can
is
sing.
such a Tom song. This is so you. Like, I think if I ever went to a karaoke with Tom, I could probably write a set list for Tom to sing. Like, and it wouldn't be far off from what the songs that he would choose. And I know that My Heart Will Go On would definitely be on that set list.
A classic track.
Chejisu says London 가고 싶다. I want to go to London. So yeah, hopefully, when the coronavirus situation becomes obsolete, then you can come when it disappears. Julie says the Korean exhibit room was so small. Yeah, the Korean exhibition is pretty small, isn't it? In the British Museum.
Yeah, I haven't been there for a while, so I can't remember really off the top of my head.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So let's talk a little bit about karaoke culture in the UK, because it's a little bit different from Korea. So in Korea, you sing with friends, family in a small room. Whereas in the UK, usually you go to a bar and you sing in front of strangers. So you sing in front of people you don't know.
Even then, it's not that common. It's really not that common.
Yeah. So there are only a few bars that have karaoke nights. Usually like a Friday night or Saturday night is karaoke night. But not every bar. Usually like 1 in 10 or 1 in 20, if that.
It's not a common thing.
Yeah. So I went to university in Bournemouth, and they had one bar that did karaoke nights every Friday. Yeah. Apart from that was. Yeah. And Bournemouth is quite a big city. Well, it's not massive, but it's still cool. It's bigger than Chichester. Yeah. Yeah,
it is. Yeah.
So when I came to Korea, I loved karaoke. I loved noraebang because you don't have to sing in front of people you don't know. You can just sing in front of your friends, and it's far more enjoyable, in my opinion.
Just changing some of these photos because I think some of them are irrelevant because we've just talked about them. But I guess we can quickly flick through.
Yeah. Okay,
next up, this is East London. So East London's a bit odd, but it's a bit more trendy, I guess. Well, not trendy, but a bit more like a lot of graffiti everywhere and things like that. It's a bit more alternative, I'd say is probably the word to describe it. But here's one bar that kind of goes out, kind of slants out to the river. I thought it looked really interesting. And then there's people that actually live on these boats as well, the river boats. So it's an interesting place to be in East London. I would recommend checking it out.
That does look like a pretty cool bar.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Some graffiti in the distance saying "wicked."
Yeah, pretty much. Next up, this is Hyde Park again, sort of the north side. But yeah, you can kind of just sit anywhere. It's a giant park, really pretty. I love it during summer. It's very nice. Next photo, George.
Next photo. Yeah.
Next photo. It's like
this looks proper British.
Yeah, proper British. But what I'm saying is, there's a lot of different style of restaurants. So this is a Japanese restaurant, but you can tell it's quite pretty.
Yeah.
I definitely, George, I definitely want you to come over. Like, you know those YouTube videos where people pretend like they don't know Korean, and then like you talk to them in English, and then you just bash out some like really good Korean. And they're like, oh, so good. We'll do that. We'll do that video.
All right, maybe. Okay, what's this one?
This is the VNA. So you can see here, there's a Asian person doing a classic squat style pose. But it's a beautiful. It's obviously it's one of those museums in the area of natural history museum. Stuff like that. Really gorgeous museum as well. And this is the John Majewski Gardens. Really nice.
Next.
Yeah. And it's free. It's free. Let me add everything that I've shown so far. I think it's mostly free, apart from the proms and eating. And next one, this is ice skating at the Natural History Museum. So during Christmas, they put up like a Christmas tree and stuff, and massive ice rink, and it's really pretty.
I've been skating there.
I've been skating there. I went on a date actually there.
Oh, I didn't.
But-
I wasn't lucky enough to go on a date, but I just went with some friends.
Oh.
Yeah.
But we did not go to Makeout Bridge, so it was a failure.
Did you go? Did you take it to the Vietnamese embassy?
The Vietnamese embassy is really close, by the way. To there's like 5-10 minutes across the road.
So there's a story. I can't remember exactly how it goes, but Tom once went on a date, and then he took the girl to a Vietnamese embassy.
Yeah, because I was really missing my mum, and I didn't realize the Vietnamese embassy was really close. So I was like, "Can we go see the Vietnamese embassy?"
Yeah. Okay, so just one thing.
Yeah.
If you go on a date in London, I wouldn't take your date to the Korean embassy. It's probably not that interesting.
No, do not do that. I don't think she was impressed as well. I do not do that. So.
Take them to the Vietnamese embassy, because I'm sure.
It's literally just a building, and it was closed as well. So we just kind of walked past it. And was like, oh. So yeah, don't do that.
Yeah.
Next photo.
Yeah.
This is this is the V&A again. So like there's a lot of buildings in London that look really pretty, and this is like one good example. Next photo.
Yeah.
This is like sort of the business side.
Business time. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is like the sun setting up across like Canary Wharf, I think, like Canary Wharf and things like that. There's Sky Garden as well there. Yeah, really pretty.
I can just imagine a lot of people walking around in suits, looking at their watches, looking with their briefcases, looking very important. Yeah.
Next photo. This is what it looks. This is St Paul's Cathedral. So we ate here once actually at night time, like across the River Thames, and you can see St Paul's Cathedral to the side there. Looks really pretty.
Yeah.
Would recommend.
Would recommend. Yeah.
Would recommend. And there's another photo of the thing. I was going to get rid of that. Oh, this is the KFC. So this is KFC Christmas. Really good.
What? Where's the KFC?
But the photo after the
Oh, okay.
natural history. Yeah.
Sick. Oh, I see.
Where you are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm on the KFC Christmas.
Yeah, so we went to. So there's a lot of random events that happen in London, especially like brands trying to be cool. So one of them was the KFC event. So keep an eye out, because there's always interesting events happening in London. And I went to the KFC Christmas event. It was really good. Like a lot of free chicken.
Isn't this a Japanese tradition?
I have no idea. KFC was just like, oh, we're doing a Christmas event. I was like, I definitely want to go.
I heard somewhere that in Japan they have KFC for Christmas.
Oh,
I
okay.
think that's true. Whoops.
Can I take a quick like toilet break?
So you know what? I think we've been doing this for like an hour. I think we can probably just finish. Yeah.
Can we finish with the final photo then?
Oh,
Alvana,
okay.
Alvana.
Okay. Yeah.
So
Hold
George,
on.
what is Alvana?
I'm just gonna find it. Okay, Elvana. I haven't seen them before, but from what I've heard, Elvana is a Nirvana tribute band with a twist. So it's fronted by Elvis. So it's Nirvana with an Elvis frontman. So he sings "Smells Like Teen Spirit" as Elvis would. Is that accurate?
Yeah. It was pretty unique, but a lot of different things to do in London. So I felt like that was really bad representation of London. Actually, it might be okay, but there's a lot of other photos that we just didn't have time for. But there's a lot of stuff that you can do in London, and a lot of this stuff actually is pretty low cost that I sort of showed really.
Yeah.
So definitely check it out. I guess if anyone has any questions, we'll do
Yeah. Before
5-minute
Tom,
Q&A. No.
How desperate are you?
So whilst you're writing your questions, I'm gonna run off quickly, but George is gonna fill in the time.
Oh, this is so unprofessional. Like, who goes to the toilet? Okay, who goes to the toilet when they're in the middle of a live stream? So unprofessional. Yeah. So, does anyone have any questions? Yeah, and I think we're going to finish in 5 minutes. I mean, I don't know why Tom couldn't have waited and then gone to the toilet. I guess he was really, really desperate. I think that's all of the Elvana photos as well. So, whilst we wait for Tom, I'm going to fill in the time by talking about what can I talk about? Chocolate milk. So, this is one of my favourite brands, favourite chocolate milk brands in Korea. And hopefully I'll get some money for advertising this brand of chocolate milk. Or, alternatively, hopefully I'll get unlimited amounts of chocolate milk thanks to this advertising to 5 viewers reaching out to the Korean audience there. What's your favourite brand of chocolate milk? These are the important issues. 이거 되게 중요한 정치적인 점인 것 같아요. 이거 되게 완전 진지한 토론인 것 같아요. 제일 좋아하는 우유, 초코우유 뭡니까? 나는 서울우유 초코우유가 제일 맛있어요. Okay, that's very. I think that's pretty good chocolate milk as well. But I'm gonna have to say that this chocolate milk is the best because it's not too sweet, but it's still got a lot of flavour. It's not sickly. It's just got the right amount of chocolate to milk ratio, in my opinion. So this is male 우유소개 코코아. The best chocolate milk in town. The best chocolate milk money can buy. Do I like banana milk? No, I don't actually. I can understand why people like banana milk, but it's not for me. It's not my cup of tea. Chocoemon. Oh, that one's alright. One thing that really annoys me is strawberry milk. I can't. Oh, you've come at an interesting time, Tom. So while you left, I was trying to fill in, and
you can tell.
I grabbed the nearest thing I had, which was this chocolate milk. It's my favourite brand.
I couldn't find it, by the way. I couldn't find it in the Korean stores. I'm looking in the wrong place. I must be.
Yeah, I guess they probably don't sell it. It's probably not their biggest export. But yeah, but strawberry milk is proper rancid. Are you up for mint chocolate? Maybe. Yeah, mint chocolate milk is more of like a dessert, I guess, for me. Whereas this is like if I'm really stressed out in the day, I just want to relax and chill out. Then I sit back and I have this chocolate milk, the best chocolate milk money can buy. I'm hoping to get some money for this. By the way.
I'm sold. I'm sold. I would definitely buy it now.
Oh, mint is yeah. So a lot of Koreans don't like mint choc chip because it tastes like toothpaste.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'd probably like it.
You don't. Wait, I mean, you like mint choc chip?
Yeah, I like.
ice
I mean,
cream,
I
right?
like. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, as I said, just a lot of Koreans don't like that kind of ice cream because it tastes like toothpaste to them. Yeah. Well, Toilet Live is amazing.
So,
I mean, you
I
should.
muted my mic. I muted my mic, and just in case you heard some.
Did you go for a number two?
Unsolicited. Yeah, it was.
I can't believe it. You went for a shit during the YouTube live stream. The unprofessionalism from my co-presenter is
Look,
terrible.
I needed to go.
I can't believe that. Anyway.
On that note,
You should what you should have done was take your phone or computer with you and continue the live stream.
in the toilet
Yeah.
with the sound on.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I had to fill in airtime and
Yeah, I could. Yeah.
I came up with some quality material just there.
Yeah.
Anyway. Right, so I think
On that note,
well, very informative information, super professional.
yeah.
Yeah.
But this is
Exactly
the
my
quality you
thoughts.
can. This is the quality you can expect.
Yeah. All right. So I think we'll finish there. Thank you very much for watching.
Oh, let's pitch some stuff before we end this show, like we do all shows,
Pitch
with
something.
your Instagram channel. What's your Instagram channel, George?
Oh, don't put me on the spot like this, Tom. I can't remember what my Instagram is called. It's called. Oh wait, hold on. I've got my phone. It's called. I think it's English in Korea. I might be wrong though. Let me just double check. Am fill the time.
You can
with
follow.
some
You can
chat.
follow me on. You can follow me on Instagram as well. I am on. I'm on the. I think you followed me on your Instagram channel, so you can follow me.
Oh yeah. So you can find Tom's Instagram
yeah,
through my Instagram if I remember what it is.
Nothing of use is posted there. Look forward also to a PUBG video coming out.
Yeah, another PUBG, but with a more educational slant.
You will never guess what will happen in that PUBG video. I'm hyping it up.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
Yeah.
Oh no.
You will never guess what happens in that in that PUBG video. Something I never thought would happen happened.
Oh, so my what, you're really good at selling stuff like this, Tom. You're good at making things sound exciting. You should.
It
be
was
my-
exciting. Do you not remember what happened?
I do remember what happened.
Multiple things that happened.
There were lots of things that happened in that game. British English in Korea is my Instagram ID. I sound like a grandpa kind of advertising his Instagram. The way that I couldn't remember. I was like, what's my Instagram? Oh, how do which button do I press? Anyway.
This is why you've been on 1.1k subscribers for ages. Also, share this channel because George needs more subscribers.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, Tom. Again, like I wouldn't have thought to have said that. Tom is very good at marketing. You're my marketing executive.
Yeah, hang on. Sorry, hang on. Sorry, something weird's happening. Fill in the time.
Chejisu said you're really handsome, Tom. Tom? Tom? Tom! Tom!
Sorry, there's a weird event happening
Tom,
outside. Okay, it's sorted. It's sorted.
What's going on outside?
The police are still outside after last night's rave. So
Oh,
basically,
really?
yeah. So basically, what happened was I was sleeping, and I woke up and there was a lot of noise. So I looked across the other side of the road, and there was a lot of people partying, and there was no masks. But they all looked like they were having fun, and they were all young and very good looking. And I probably should have gone out in some ways.
Yeah, you should have
yeah.
gone out and partied
Yeah,
until.
yeah. But now the police are involved because I assume bad stuff happened. Well, bad stuff was happening when I was watching it. But yeah,
Too much partying, yeah.
too much
Intense
partying.
Right, it's bad for you. So remember, don't party too much.
And
it's bad
Don't
for
party
you.
too much.
Party in
but
moderation.
subscribe to what's your Instagram chat? Instagram British English in Korea.
Well, I'm glad you asked because my Instagram ID is British English in Korea, and you can subscribe to my Instagram channel. Is it channel? Yeah, Instagram channel,
I think
and
it's
get
called profile.
profile. Okay, and it's not subscribe, it's follow, isn't it? Okay,
Yeah,
let me do that
follow,
again.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
so my Instagram is called British English in Korea, and you can follow my Instagram page for regular updates for English content all around the world. No, it's not all around the world, it's just in Korea. So you can get English updates 24 hours a day. Yeah, and you can find Tom's Instagram on there as well, because I follow him. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was good, wasn't it? That was good.
Yeah, it was really good, Josh. Really good.
I'm good
All
at
right, bye
this.
all. All right, you've got to say that. It's your show. You've
What?
got to say bye.
Bye. Okay. So yeah, thanks very much for watching. We'll be back again next Saturday. Please let us know if you have anything that you want to learn or anything you want us to talk about in the next live show. And
Honestly, we have no ideas for what we're doing next week, so it'll be
yeah,
very
so please make up
Yeah.
stuff for us.
yeah.
So we don't have to do any work. And happy Korean Liberation Day. There you go. All right.
I was transitioning to the wave.
Oh, transitioning to wave. Okay. Well done, Tom. Says Lichable. I don't know what did you do
I don't-
that was good.
I did take a big poo.
Okay. Well done on your big shit. Yeah. All right. So, bye bye.